What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to take a look at Lee Q. Murray, a heavyweight from Connecticut. Let's look at his career. Now, as you can see here, Lee Q. Murray was born 1920 in Norwalk, Connecticut. He was a heavyweight that stood 6 foot tall. Now, Lee Q. Murray began his professional career in 1939 on January 7th against a fighter by the name of Russell Brown. This fight took place in St. Louis, and Lee Q. Murray was able to receive a first-round knockout. But then he fought Paul Duke in St. Louis as well, knocked him out in 1 round. That fight took place January 14th of 1939. He would go on and face fighters such as Ali D, knocking him out in 2 rounds. Joe Brown knocking him out in 1 round. Eldridge Eatman receiving a 6-round draw. This was in White Plains. Then we have 2 more fights in Connecticut and New York, and receiving 2 second-round knockouts. Fascinating. 1940. January 20th, he would face a fighter by the name of James J. Johnson. He would fight him in New York. He would unfortunately lose to him in 6 rounds, but then he would fight Howard Williams April 10th, again in New York, and he would knock him out in 3 rounds. That was a good comeback. Eddie Gates and Norwalk, knocking him out in 2 rounds. That fight took place on May 3rd, 1940. And he would continue with his knockout and win streak throughout the remaining years of 1940. With a good fight against a fighter by the name of Wally Sears in Stamford, Connecticut. He would knock him out in 2 rounds. Ending the year on December 13th against a fighter by the name of Gene Mackins. This was in New Britain, and he knocked him out in 1 round. 1940 was another good year. Unfortunately, he had 2 losses to the same fighter, but he would eventually redeem that fight and redeem no losses against this fighter. This fighter would be Curtis Shepard. He would fight 3 times against Curtis Shepard. Once January 30th, 1941 in Baltimore, he would knock him out in 6 rounds. And then he would fight him again March and June. March 24th in Pittsburgh, he would lose to him in 10 rounds. And June 9th in Pittsburgh, and he would lose to him in 10 rounds. This all took place in 1941. He would face King Kong, March 20th, Baltimore. He would knock him out in 6 rounds. Now he would fight a fighter, a familiar name to me, February 17th, Willie Reddish, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He would receive a 6-round draw. Now Willie Reddish was Meldrick Taylor, who was the 1984 gold medalist in the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. Willie Reddish would be Meldrick Taylor's first trainer. He was his amateur trainer and did a very good job with Meldrick Taylor. 1942, September 22nd, Al Hart, New York City, would lose to him in 8 rounds. December 22nd, Ted Laurie, New Bedford. He would defeat him in 10 rounds. He had 2 fights that year in 1942. 1943, he would fight Ted Laurie again in New Bedford, and he would defeat him in 10 rounds. This fight took place January 5th. He would face Yancey Henry, February 9th. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, he would defeat him in 10 rounds. Buddy Walker, good fighter, he would fight him twice. He would knock him out in 6 rounds and receive an 8-round victory, February 22nd and March 30th. He would fight Lou Brooks, Baltimore. He would defeat him in 15 rounds, April 26th. Big Boy Brown, Baltimore, Maryland, knocking him out in 8 rounds. Harry Bobo and Jimmy Bivens. He would receive an 8-round knockout over Harry Bobo and a 10-round loss over Jimmy Bivens. That would end the year December 1st, 1943. Let's take a look at some of these fighters he faced. Now, Lee Q. Murray would face Lou Brooks, April 26, 1943, and he would defeat him in 15 rounds. Lou Brooks was a very good fighter, as you can see here. He's from Delaware. He fought some good fighters in his time, and that was a very good win for Lee Q. Murray over Lou Brooks, excuse me. Another fighter he would face is a fighter by the name of Jack Buddy Walker. Fought him a few times. Buddy Walker was another good fighter. And I'm just trying to show you some opponents to give you a perspective on a fighter in which we're speaking. Jack Buddy Walker was a very, very good fighter at that time. Now, Lee Q Murray would face a few more fighters that I want to recognize. He would face Curtis the Hatchet Shepard. Curtis Shepard was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He stood 5'10". He fought fighters such as Jimmy Bivens. He lost to him in 10 rounds. Joey Maxim, who was a future light heavyweight champion, he lost to him in 10 rounds and he knocked him out in 1 round. Wallace Cross, very good heavyweight at that time. He knocked him out in 1 round. Lloyd Marshall, murderous or heavyweight, lost him in 10 rounds. Archie Moore, light heavyweight champion of the world for 10 years. He lost to him in 10 rounds. So he has a very good resume. Another fighter he faced was Little Tiger Wade, murderous or middleweight. He was from San Francisco, and he fought fighters such as R.J. Lewis, knocked him out in 2 rounds. Knocked out in 1 round and knocked him out in 4 rounds, if my memory serves me correctly. Charlie Burley lost to him in 10 rounds. Oakland, California is where they fought. Jack Chase, another murderous road fighter, San Francisco. He lost to him in 10 rounds and he was knocked out by Jack Chase. He was knocked out by him in, I think it was the 4th round. I know they got a 10-round draw. Burt Littell, middleweight. I know he lost to him once, and he defeated him in 10 rounds. Coco Kidd, he defeated him in 10 rounds. So that was an outstanding victory for him. So Curtis Shepard was the goods. Little Tiger Wade was the goods. Another fighter he fought a guy by the name of Ted Laurie. I know he was born in New Bedford, Massachusetts, light heavyweight. He stood 5'10". And I know he fought fighters such as Jack Wargott. He knocked him out in 1 round. Italian Jack Dempsey. He lost to him in 12 rounds. Gunboat Davis. Charlie Williams knocked him out in 2 rounds. Johnny Brown knocked him out in 1 round. Danny Cox, he's a fighter that I mentioned to you once before. He was part of that stable of Grubbs Gym with Ray Robinson. And, fighters such as, at that time, you had a lot of those fighters in Grubbs Gym. Well, they fought in River Falls and he lost them in 10 rounds. Bobby Zander lost them in 10 rounds. Tiger Jack Fox, I know he lost to him in 10 rounds. Lisa Voy, I'm just trying to, at the top of my head. He had a 10-round draw. October of that year, he had fought Little Tiger Wade and lost to him in 10 rounds. I'm sorry, he defeated him in 10 rounds. So that was a very good group of fighters that he fought, and I just wanted to recognize them. All right, 1942. September 22nd, Al Hart, New York City, lost him in 8 rounds. Ted Laurie, New Bedford. Those are the 2 fights he had in 42. 43, we went over that record. 1944, Jimmy Bivens, Curtis Shepard, Turkey Thompson, January 28th, New York City. He defeated him in 10 rounds. Now, I did a bio on Turkey Thompson. Type in Turkey Thompson. 1945, September 26th, Odell Riley, Chicago, Illinois. He lost to him in 8 rounds. November 12th, Jersey Joe Walcott, Baltimore, Maryland. He would lose to him on a 9th round disqualification. 1946, Henry Jones, January 3rd, New York City. He knocked him out in 7 rounds. Now going back to 1945, November 12th, Jersey Joe Walcott. Jersey Joe Walcott had an outstanding career. And shortly, he would be getting an opportunity to face Joe Louis for the heavyweight champion of the world. So that was a very good opportunity for Lee Q Murray to put him in line for an opportunity with Joe Louis. But he lost on the disqualification, and he lost any opportunity he might have had with facing the heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Louis. Now going back to 1946, June 10th, he would face Jimmy Bivens, murderous road heavyweight, Cleveland, Ohio. He would defeat him in 10 rounds. Very good victory for Lee Q Murray. Leroy Lawson, another good fighter, September 24th, Detroit, Michigan. He would knock him out in 3 rounds. Sandy McPherson, November 20th. He would knock him out in 2 rounds. December 26th, Earl Loman, New York City, knock him out in 3 rounds. Look at the KO streak. 1947, it doesn't stop. Odell Riley, Ted Laurie, Henry Jones, Johnny White, Jimmy Bivens twice. He would have a few no contests, knockouts, wins, 1 loss against Jimmy Bivens. And that loss was on June 9th. It took place in Baltimore, and unfortunately for Lee Q Murray, he was on a good roll, but he lost to him in 10 rounds. and would fight Curtis Shepard twice, and he would win twice. So he would regain himself in a contention. So you know what? I just want to take my hats off, and give a salute to Lee Kumari. A very good fighter, as you can see here. He fought a lot of the good fighters of his time. He didn't duck anybody. He didn't get the opportunity to face for the heavyweight championship, but he was there for the taking. So Lee Kumari, I just want to give a shout out to him. Honorable mention, this is Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. All great fighters are mentioned on my channel. Salute to my subscribers. One love. Peace.